Alright y'all, it is unboxing day here at my parents' house. My name is Tracy, this is the 3-Wick Thesis candle channel, and I am sharing with you today the Wilderness collection from Goose Creek. This is my lit review episode where I share with you my first impressions, cold impressions, scent notes, wax, wicks, lid, jar, label, all that stuff. Then I'm going to take a break, cut the video, take some notes, get some insights about strength and throw, take some burn footage, and share with you my overall first impression on the burning, the warm fragrance, and how these evolve. I already have these boxes open because these two collections came together. It was the Cake Shop collection and the Wilderness collection were mixed together in two different boxes, so I did already do an unboxing in the Cake Shop collection video. I'm just going to pull out one at a time. I have not sniffed these yet, despite the fact the box is open, so you are going to be getting my first impression. 6 of the 8 candles are new fragrances. 2 of them are returning. This one is a new one, and that is Wilderness Hike. By the way, these labels are awesome. Looking at it in person, I feel like a picture online doesn't quite do it justice. It literally looks like a glossy print of a wilderness photo, and then to me this kind of looks like a state park sign or some sort of like state park badge or patch, and this reminds me of the font you see on like state park signs and monuments. So I feel like the detail on this is just beautiful. It looks authentically nature driven and park driven, and then there's also this little seal that kind of reminds me of like a state seal that says Goose Creek Wilderness Adventure on it. So I feel like the jars are very well done. The back side is more of a matte finish, so you can actually have some texture here. This one is green, and then it kind of just looks like almost like cracked glass or aged wood. At first I thought it might be like topography, but it looks like it's just like random lines. So Wilderness Hike has scent notes of wet pine needles, damp leaves, and woodland mist. Oh, this is really pretty. I don't know that I've smelled anything like this. It has a very deep pine note that reminds me of like what you would get in any classic pine. Tree Farm from Bath & Body Works, balsam and cedar from Yankee, you know, you name it, it's a pine fragrance. But then there's this really cool crisp note that's in here that feels almost like a eucalyptus that gives it this like mist vibe. So it feels like you're smelling pine forest like on the coast. And I don't know what the East Coast is like, but the West Coast we get a lot of fog, and when that fog rolls in and kind of hits the pine trees and you get the cedar woods and the redwoods and it just smells delicious, that's what this reminds me of. It's just woody and aquatic and fresh, but also earthy and grounding. And I think what I love the most about this is it doesn't feel like a Christmas candle. It feels like a wilderness candle. So somehow they made it so that I'm not getting Christmas vibes from it. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Stainless steel colored lid, white wax on this, and these are thin, stiff, ropey wicks. Oh, that one's really pleasant. I cannot wait. The stepdad's gonna like that one too. He loves pine fragrances. The next one I pulled out is Bonfire Blanket. This is another new fragrance. Again, you have the same design on the label, the same seal. This one is a glossy print of a bonfire next to a lake with a blanket. Looks like the sun is setting in the background, and it's fall, so the leaves on the trees have turned. Again, lots of detail. You know, if someone wanted to say, oh, well, it looks like AI, it's well done AI if it is. I think it's really gorgeous. The fire does look fake, but it gives me good bonfire vibes. So red wraparound on this one, and you're seeing the same kind of worn, it almost like looks like worn leather or like a dried up leaf. Same lid, same wax, and same wicks on this one. Bonfire Blanket is bonfire marshmallows, bourbon vanilla, caramelized amber, and cashmere musk. the very first thing that comes to mind is Vanilla Romance from Bath & Body Works. It also reminds me a little bit of the marshmallow note. It reminds me a little bit of like Marshmallow Fireside. Yeah, Warm Vanilla Sugar from Bath & Body Works, Vanilla Romance from Bath & Body Works, and a little bit of Marshmallow Fireside from Bath & Body Works. It's perfumey, which is probably coming from the amber, the caramelized amber, and maybe the cashmere musk. And then it's also got just this hint of like earthiness and groundedness, and then the ooey gooey sweetness and vanilla from the marshmallow. I actually don't get like a smokiness like I was expecting. I also feel like I'm getting a hint of like warm and welcome. It's beautiful. I have no complaints, but I was expecting more of a smoky bonfire essence to it. I still really like it though. Let's see. I'm going to try to keep these ranked as I go along. Another new one is Mountainside Lake. So again, you have the same design of the label. This one is a beautiful blue crystal clear lake with some beautiful mountains in the background. This looks a little bit more like either like a very late fall, early winter, because there is still snow on the mountains in the background. And then you've got this kind of like bluish green hue to the label. Same cracked design, same lid, same wax, and same wicks. This one is Mountain Air, Fresh Eucalyptus, Iced Lavender, and Cool Waters. Oh my goodness, y'all. Gorgeous. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Sinus clearing. Very, very like bright and sharp. It feels a little bit like Vicks Vapo Rub or Vapor Rub when you smell it. It's not offensive, but you're going to get that same element. It reminds me a lot of Frozen Lake. I think that's probably the eucalyptus that's in here. The lavender is a very sharp lavender. It also feels subtle at the same time. So I'm getting mostly eucalyptus, the sharpness from the lavender that's in here, and then it just feels super aquatic. Yeah, you could put this in that like rain, I forget, it was like rain showers, water series they did. I'll put a picture of that collection over here of the ones that I reviewed. You could put it in that collection. It would fit right in. It reminds me of a couple of the different ones that were in that. So if you liked that collection, I would say pick this one up. It is very, very similar. A lot like Frozen Lake from Bath & Body Works. Okay. This one is a returning favorite, Skillet Blueberry Cobbler. And now I heard that this one sold out within like a couple of weeks the last time it was released. So if you think you'd like this one and it's still available, I wouldn't delay. I think it's very popular and people are going to buy it. Love the picture on the front. It's literally somebody is making some skillet cobbler. They've got, looks like almost like biscuits or pastry dough in there with some blueberries in a cast iron pan that's sitting on top of a fire. The blueberries have fallen into the sticks. They haven't popped or melted yet, but that's just kind of a fun picture. And then the wraparound is the same, only this time we have blue. Same lid on this one. Same wax and same wicks. Oh, it's delicious. I can smell it already. Warm blueberries, baked cobbler, and vanilla ice cream. Oh, this is pretty. It smells familiar. That pastry note. It reminds me a lot of, was it blueberry pie? I think that was a part of the Peter Rabbit collection. Or was it blueberry jam? Blueberry pie? I'll put a picture of it up here. It reminds me a little bit of that one. The pastry note is pretty strong on this. Yeah, I feel like I get the cobbler note first. You get a strong pastry note. To my nose, it almost just smells like pie crust. I don't know that I could distinguish it specifically towards a cobbler. Cobbler can sometimes smell like biscuit, and I really just get what smells like a buttery crust note. The blueberry is sweet, but also juicy and fresh. It's not too cloyingly sweet. It is very much a bakery blueberry. I think I'm gonna like this one. I just feel like it maybe is a little bit redundant with some of the other blueberry ones that Goose Creek has released. Campsite Embers is the next one I pulled out, also a new one. So you've got a camping scene. This one looks like it's a little bit earlier in the fall season because the leaves haven't fully turned. You've got some birds up here flying in the background, the bonfire out here with the cute little tent sitting next to what looks like a pond. This has smoked woods, glowing embers, and leather hiking boots. Wow. That's awesome. This legit smells like you are sniffing leather boots next to a campfire. That smoky note is legit. I actually get what smells like wood that's smoky or like you're sitting next to a campfire. The leather note is just beautiful. It is deep and earthy and natural. Sometimes candle companies will go the way of like cologne and do cologne-y leather. This just smells like natural leather with smokiness from that ember note. Phenomenal. I don't know how they did it, but it literally smells like I am wearing leather shoes next to a fire. Kind of a beige or like leather tan color, fitting for the fragrance. Same lid, same wax, same wicks. Another new one, Windblown Wildflowers. So you've got this beautiful either sunset or sunrise with some sunflowers on here with mountains in the background. You've got a nice yellow color to go with the wildflower vibe of this one. Same lid, same wax, same wicks, and my lid is funky. The seal has come off, so that is not sealed properly. Luckily, the candle looks like it's okay. There is a piece of glass, however, in my wax right here. So not sure what happened. I'm wondering if this wasn't on a different candle that got broken and they just doop doop did a little swap, because I don't see evidence of this being broken at all. This jar is in good shape, but there's glass in my wax. I don't know. This smells beautiful though. Y'all, I'm getting a whiff of it. It's gorgeous. Scent notes are sweet wildflowers, meadow greens, and sun-warmed citrus. Oh, this is beautiful. I love this so much. This reminds me a lot of a candle from Pier 1 called Tuscan Herbs. And in that one, it was like herbs, but it also was like Tuscan sunset or something like that. And I get that same vibe. It is floral, but it doesn't feel like garden floral. It almost feels more of like a soapy floral. I don't think I'm doing it justice. It's like a soapy floral, but it's also very just earthy and almost resinous. It's almost like what you would get from like a wildflower honey vibe. But then it's not sweet. It's like pollen sweet. I am not explaining this well. It's just beautiful. It's earthy, it's golden, it's nectar, it's floral. I have not smelled anything like this in the last year. Granted, I haven't been, sniffing candles all that much in, my lifetime, but this one is absolutely amazing. Doesn't smell perfumey to me. Doesn't smell like it's going to be offensive. We'll see how it does on warm. This is the last new one of the bunch, Evergreen Trail. So you've got this beautiful trail with some deer. Looks like some pine trees or evergreen trees. Bright sun coming through the forest canopy. And then you have a beautiful forest green color on the label. Same lid, same wax, same wicks. And this one is Forest Evergreen, Towering Redwood, and Fresh Air. This one smells familiar to me too. This one feels more Christmassy to me. The pine is very sappy. It's very much like your classic pine tree. I feel like the redwood note in here almost reads like a cedar wood to me. Fresh air is super crisp. It feels a little bit like a eucalyptus. Yeah, this smells quite a bit like Bath & Body Works Tree Farm to me. It's pretty. I like the other one better. Where is it at? Was it Wilderness Hike? Yeah, I like Wilderness Hike a lot better. This one just feels like you're hiking through a pine forest. Very fall vibe. This one I feel like you're hiking through a Christmas tree lot. It feels more winter, more Christmas vibe. It's still beautiful and I enjoy it, but it feels more like a Christmas candle to me. I'm having a hard time ordering these, y'all. Okay. And then the last one is another fan favorite, returning fragrance, Moonlit Slow Dance. And on this one, you've got a camper next to a bonfire, a beautiful full moon with a mountainous background, purple label color, kind of a two-tone with the split there, lighter here and darker here. And then you have the same lid, same wax, and same wicks. This one is toasted marshmallow, vanilla whiskey, warm sandalwood, and moonlit amber. This one is beautiful too. Yeah, it's warm. It's woody. It's earthy. I feel like it's a little bit creamy, probably from the marshmallow note that's in here and possibly from that warm sandalwood note. I don't get on cold like a strong ooey gooey marshmallow note. It is very much just an earthy amber vanilla sandalwood. Yeah, it's beautiful. It feels a tad bit feminine, maybe a little bit perfumey, but mostly just earthy and gorgeous. I also feel like I get a little bit of a tonka bean vibe. There's no tonka scent note in here, but I think the way that vanilla whiskey is playing with the sandalwood and the amber is making me think of tonka. Yeah, that's gorgeous too. Oh man, I love them all. Every single one. I love all of them. I have no complaints about any of them. They're all absolutely gorgeous on cold. I hate to tell you all that because I know you're going to spend some cash if I say that, but y'all, this collection is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to take a guess that Kent had something to do with this one. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to rank them from least favorite to favorite, but just know they're all amazing on cold. I love every single one. I'm going to covet them and enjoy them. Number 8, and only because it feels like a Christmas candle to me, is going to be Evergreen Trail. I love it. It's piney. It's sappy. But it reminds me of a Christmas candle. Number 7, I'm going to give to Bonfire Blanket. That's because I want more of a bonfire vibe with this. I would love to get more of a sense of sitting next to a campfire. And really this just smells like a body care vanilla, an inedible vanilla fragrance. It's beautiful, but I don't think of camping when I smell this. I just don't get camping vibes from it at all. So that one's number 7. Number 6, I'm going to do Moonlit Slow Dance, which, to be clear, I love this fragrance, but I feel like it's been done before. It feels... There's nothing super special about it and unique. It's absolutely gorgeous, but I feel like I have other candles that smell a lot like it, almost like the Bonfire Blanket one. That's just... It feels very similar. I also don't know that I necessarily get camp vibes or like wilderness adventure vibes from it. Number 5, also beautiful, Mountainside Lake. This is 5 just because, again, this one feels a little bit redundant with that entire collection they did. It feels a little bit like Frozen Lake. I feel like you could toss in some Lakeside Morning from Bath & Body Works. Beautiful fragrance. I just don't think it's that unique enough. It does, however, have a wilderness vibe to me. Number 4 is going to be the Skillet Blueberry Cobbler. Love this fragrance, but was hoping for a bit more blueberry, a bit less of the pastry note. Number 3, I would do as Wilderness Hike. I absolutely love how this literally smells like wet pine forest. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's just earthy and green and piney and a little bit aquatic. Oh, I might have put this too low down on the list. It's 3rd, but I feel like maybe it could be 2nd. You know, I don't know. I did Wilderness Wildflowers as 2nd because I think this one's just gorgeous as well. I think you could switch these out interchangeably, 2 and 3, which makes my number 1 choice Campsite Embers. I don't know that this is my favorite fragrance. I think my favorite fragrance, honestly, is probably the Wilderness Hike. But this is just shocking to me how much it smells like leather and campfire smoke. It's just so beautiful and so authentic. It smells like Colin from Colin's Return, the Bath & Body Works candle that's leather. It feels like he went camping. That's what it smells like to me. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, y'all, that is my cold ranking. I'm going to go fire these up, get some burn footage for you. I'm going to take notes on things like the scent quality, the strength in the throw, so I can give you some insights after the cut on what I found and make my recommendations to you. I will also re-rank these on warm because sometimes that changes. I'll be right back after the cut. All right, y'all, I am back after spending hours with these candles, and I gotta say, this was probably one of the hardest collections for me to rank. I love every single one of these candles. Is there some redundancy? Yes, a little bit. You got a couple of pine ones that smell very similar. There's a lot of creamy sandalwood. There's a lot of woodsy and crisp air. But are they each unique enough to make it feel like I'm happy I have the whole collection? Absolutely. So I don't want to tell your wallets or your home fragrance budget this, but put these in the cart. Okay, these are all beautiful. I also love that this feels like a very cohesive collection to me. It feels very intentional, and the design of the labels, everything is just beautifully done. I cannot recommend this collection to you enough. I did still put them in rank order. I will tell you that the ones that scored lower on the ranking did so because they feel redundant with other fragrances that are available by both Goose Creek and Bath & Body Works. Not because they're not good candles, but because I wanted more originality. I wanted something that felt new, especially because 6 of these 8 ones are supposed to be brand new fragrances, but I'm pretty sure a couple of them are just very slight tweaks or repackages of previous candles, and I'm going to talk more about that as I go through my findings for warm burn. All right, let's get started here. Number 8, again, beautiful fragrance, but just put it in last place because I feel like not only is it redundant with this collection, but it also just feels like a lot of other pine candles, and that is Evergreen Trail. Now, this on warm is absolutely beautiful. It really comes to life, and I do feel like there's a lot of complexity here with the pine note. On cold, it kind of just feels like another tree farm, another balsam and cedarwood from Yankee. It just feels like, oh, here's another pine candle. However, the pine in this, possibly the evergreen is my guess, becomes very, very sweet on warm. You just get this strong, sappy pine note, and then behind that is this woody, almost masculine fragrance, and I'm guessing that's coming from the towering redwood note. And then you get just this hint of what feels like a cologne vibe. I'm thinking that's probably whatever the fresh air note is. It almost reads like a eucalyptus or a mahogany, just a very subtle, little bit sinusy burn in your nose, but it's not cologne-y. It doesn't overwhelm anything. I just feel like it adds a little bit of something that's different from, say, Tree Farm from Bath & Body Works. So it does have more complexity than some of the other pine candles out there, but ultimately this just ends up smelling like another pine candle to me. It did have good strength and throw. I would say medium bordering on strong in terms of strength, and the throw was absolutely amazing. So not only did it fill out the living room space, but my stepdad and I were also working out here in the hallway cleaning out a closet and it was creeping up the stairs and I could smell it in the stairwell. So it has good throw, it carries, and it's also pretty strong. If you're looking for a hearty pine fragrance that doesn't go the way of like cinnamon and sugar and all those like winter Christmas vibes that we get with pine candles, I would say get this one. It feels appropriate for late summer, early fall. I did want to highlight, which I did not catch in the cold impression, this one also has a wonky lid, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to capture that with my camera, but it almost looks like, right here, it almost looks like it got burned. It's got like literal, looks like ash or tar mark on it. I tried polishing or buffing that out and it doesn't come out. So this is one of 2 lids that came damaged. So again, quality control issues with Goose Creek. This doesn't bother me, whatever, it's fine. But if I was gifting this, I would want an exchange because it's ugly, it's unsightly, it doesn't look good. So didn't mark it down for that, but just noting, I did notice that while I was filming. Okay, number 7 is Mountainside Lake. Now again, absolutely beautiful fragrance. If you love crisp, aquatic, winter icy fragrances, this is your candle. It is beautiful. However, for me, it kind of just feels like every other icy cold water candle that Goose Creek has ever put out, and a lot like Frozen Lake from Bath & Body Works. This reminds me of the 2 different rain shower water candles that I mentioned in the cold impression. Still on warm, it smells very much like that. So this just doesn't feel unique to me. I don't have those candles with me, so I can't do a side-by-side, but if I had to guess, they are almost indistinguishable because I couldn't, my brain was like, this just feels like the candles I already have at home. So beautiful fragrance, but I don't think it's unique enough for me. It is very strong, like super strong, and I would say very sinus clearing. That eucalyptus note in here, the lavender is very sharp. If you want something where you're feeling stuffy and you can't smell and you want a candle that is going to get through a stuffed up nose, this is going to be a good go-to for you. My stepdad he acknowledged the strength. I don't think he felt put off by it, but I think there was an element of like, wow, that one's really strong. I'm like, yeah, and it kind of gets you right here. Okay, had to let Harry in. He was scratching at the door. He's got to explore the new candle collection, apparently. Anyhow, I did ask the stepdad about this candle. He had mentioned that he thought it smelled like Vicks on warm. So that level of sinus clearing. And I do almost feel like this has like a peppermint menthol element to it, but that is not a scent note in here unless that's what mountain air is. But just know this is very strong, very good throw, and very much a crisp, aquatic, clear out your sinuses sort of fragrance. I love it. I just don't need another one. There's too many of them already in my collection. Okay, so that means number 6 is Bonfire Blanket. Now again, I love this one, but I have 2 issues with this candle. Number 1 is this does not feel strongly campfire to me. This smells like you went camping with someone who was wearing Bath & Body Works lotion. The best way I can describe it. So you get this like super sweet vanilla from the marshmallow and the bourbon vanilla that's in here, and then you get this beautiful, warm, soft cashmere. But y'all, this reminds me, and that's really my second complaint, so much of the luxury line That's So Vanilla candle. I don't feel like this is that unique. I also was craving more of a bonfire smell, more of that caramelized amber that's in here, because I wanted something that smelled a little bit burned. I wanted to feel like I was sitting next to a fire with a blanket. So it's beautiful, but it smells so much like It's So Vanilla from Goose Creek that I'm wondering again if this isn't just kind of a repackage or a relabel. So this one, maybe of the bunch, is the one that's least cohesive. But again, I love the fragrance, so I still appreciate it. I just feel like these 3 that are in last place are just kind of too redundant with other fragrances on the market. Number 5, I did as Wilderness Hike. I will say that this one on warm is very, very earthy. It is very woody, and I feel like I get like a hint of petrichor in here. I'm not always a fan of petrichor. Sometimes I think it goes way too deep in terms of like the earthiness, but this is just very subtle and kind of helps to balance out some of the sharper notes in here from the pine needle. But I do get a sense of like that wet dirt, wet leaves that you would get from a petrichor scent. It literally feels like I'm walking through an evergreen forest on a trail where it has rained recently. I also feel like I got a hint of the same elements that are in Mountainside Lake. There's just like a little bit of edge of something that feels sinus clearing, a little bit high on the register. That might be whatever is in the woodland mist fragrance note that's on here. I don't know. But altogether, it's earthy, it's damp, it's woody and a little bit piney, and then a little bit crisp. It is just a beautifully well done forest fragrance that doesn't go too cologne-y, doesn't go too earthy. So if you are on the fence about woody fragrances, you're on the fence about petrichor, I would say this is a good entry-level candle for those scent notes. It's not going to be too offensive. It's just very approachable and very well balanced. Now, in terms of strength and throw, I would put this as medium on both. I could smell it. It wasn't overpowering, and it did fill the space effectively. It wasn't elusive. It didn't creep up the stairs, but it did fill the space. I really like this one, and I hope that this makes a return next fall. I don't have the space right now to, I'm just overwhelmed by how many candles I have right now. I don't have the space right now to do backstock of my favorite fall candles until really fall gets here. I don't know if this will still be around, but if it does still stick around or show up next year, this is backstock worthy in my opinion. It's absolutely beautiful. In fourth place, I put Windblown Wildflowers. I love that this one feels different from every single candle in this collection. This is definitely a unique one. It is floral without being too springy, without being too perfumey, I think without even being too feminine. It is floral and clean. I feel like I get a little bit of nectar in this. And I know I mentioned on a cold impression that it smelled a little bit soapy, and I think it's actually shampoo that I'm thinking of. And I'm pretty sure that I have used a shampoo that smells almost exactly like this. Now, could I tell you what brand and which one? Absolutely not. I could not. But it does smell like shampoo to me. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, I think, expresses how clean this smells. So it's a little bit floral, very fresh, very clean, and just absolutely beautiful. In terms of strength and throw, I would put this at medium to low range. So it was strong, but for a floral, I feel like it was a little bit weak. So again, if you are uncomfortable with florals, you feel like they're too strong, too perfumey, this one might be a good option because it was not a powerhouse. It did not overwhelm me. And then also in terms of strength or throw, I would put it medium to low. It made it across the room, but barely. I think this would do better for me as a desk candle, something that I'm sitting next to. Of course, unless that comes to life on the second or third burn, because sometimes it takes 2 to 3 burns for a candle to bloom and for you to really get the full experience of the scent of the candle on warm. And again, this is the one with the busted up lid. The seal is literally hanging out. So I might just take some glue and try to reattach that or use one of my old lids. So this was the second one that had a lid quality control issue. Again, I didn't mark it down for that. Just something to note. Number 3, I really enjoy Skillet Blueberry Cobbler. Do I feel like this necessarily is super cohesive with the rest of them? No, not necessarily. I'm trying to imagine the emotional labor and planning that would have to go into packing the ingredients to make a blueberry skillet cobbler while camping. And to that person, mad props. But does it smell like this picture? Yes, it does. It does on warm. This is absolutely beautiful. I wrote my notes exactly like blueberry cobbler. You get a very sweet, cooked, jammy blueberry, so it's not too bright, it's not too juicy. It smells syrupy and kind of thick and a little bit cloying, but it's not too powerful, it's not too strong. It's just very well balanced with the bakery pastry note that's in here. Would I identify this specifically as a cobbler? Probably not. It smells a lot like a pie crust. It just smells like pastry dough to me. I think it also smells a little bit, not one for one, but a little bit like the blueberry Pop-Tart candle that came out last fall. So a little bit redundant with that one, but unique enough to be different. It is very well balanced, delicious, edible, gourmandy without being a powerhouse and being too sweet and overwhelming. I would put this at both medium strength and medium throw. It filled the space. It was very pleasant. I wasn't overwhelmed, and it didn't leave the room or creep upstairs or into the hallway towards the kitchen. So if you like blueberry, and in particular you like blueberry jammy pastry note candles, you want to snag this one because it's beautiful. Number 2, I'm surprised I like as much as I do. I saw the scent notes on this, and honestly, in the entire collection, this was the one where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that whiskey note, because Bath & Body Works has their sweet whiskey candle out, and it's okay. I don't love it. It's just kind of like, I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I'm experiencing it. But this was the last one that I hadn't put in the bag in the entire collection, the Moonlit Slow Dance, and I am so glad I did, because this candle is beautiful. So the hype around these two, the returning ones, all the hype I'm hearing on the subreddit and from y'all leaving comments and other people's reviews saying, oh my gosh, I love it, I'm so glad it's back, believe that hype. Both of these are beautiful. And Moonlit Slow Dance is just this gorgeous, gorgeous, earthy, warm, a little bit feminine, a little bit masculine. I just feel like it's so well balanced. There's like this hint of powdery element coming from something. I don't know what that's coming from, because nothing in here says powdery to me, but it's not like full-on deodorant face powder vibe. It just feels soft. There's like a softness somewhere in here. Maybe that's the warm sandalwood. So you get this like soft powdery element. You get this woody note that almost smells like raw wood. That might be the sandalwood, or maybe a little bit of the whiskey. I'm thinking if this is like an oaked whiskey vibe, you might pick up on an oak note. It's not masculine woody. It's literally naturally woody. And then you do get a very strong vanilla element. I think both from that whiskey note and also from the marshmallow. But the vanilla reads almost like a body care element, but not full on. So that kind of feels like this feminine vibe again. You've got like the powdery vanilla, perfumey feminine with the really woody whiskey, darker amber notes that feel more masculine. And then the two of those just dance beautifully together in a way that is just, it's incredible. The amber is warm, a little bit resinous. I feel like the amber is strongest on this candle. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but if you like earthy vanilla candles, this is one you're going to want to try because it's just beautiful. Now, in terms of strength or throw, I was craving more strength with that vanilla in there. Second or third burn, it might pick up more. But for me, on first burn, I would rank it as like medium to low in terms of strength, and same with the throw. I could get it across the room, but barely, so I might put it more as a low throw. I did get up and move around the room, and it wasn't elusive. I wasn't finding pockets of smell elsewhere. It really just kind of hovered around the candle. So for first burn, I would say low throw desk candle. I'm hoping it comes to life on second or third. And I also wanted to highlight, which I did not pick up on in the cold impression, my wicks are off center, so they're really close to this edge over here, pretty far away from this edge over here. That could cause issues with melting the label if they get wonky at all. Again, quality control issue. I did not mark it down for that reason, but just something for you to look at when you get your candles shipped. Take a look and make sure that it looks good. And number one, y'all, put it in your cart. Put it in your cart yesterday. Campsite Embers, my gosh. Okay, so I wrote in my note that this feels like, and these are Bath & Body Works references, so hopefully you know what I'm talking about. It feels like Colin's Return accidentally got mixed with Christmas Cabin. Those are two candles from Bath & Body Works. Now, there's not a cinnamon note in here. It just says glowing embers and smoked woods, but I swear I get like just like a hint of like a red hot spicy cinnamon. And then you get this beautiful woody, like burning woody note, and it legitimately smells smoky. Although I will say on warm, the smokiness tones down a little bit and that leather really ramps up. Oh, it's beautiful. The leather in this is soft and natural and warm. It's not cologne-y at all. And then you get this like hint of smokiness from the embers, and I feel like I get a hint of what feels like cinnamon, and it really does feel like I've got some Christmas cabin elements with Colin's Return. And if you love leather or if you love Christmas cabin, you need this candle because it is amazing. It is also very strong, which I appreciate. I know that the leather fragrance from Goose Creek called Guilty was super low throw, a little bit disappointing in terms of strength. This one's not having that issue. Something about the leather is holding up and is stronger, and then you have those woody, smoky notes in here that just help to amplify it. Plays really well off of it. So in terms of strength or throw, I had no issues with this whatsoever. It was very strong. It filled the space. It started to creep up into the stairwell and out into the hallway. This is just a stellar candle. Top of the line, best in the collection, hands down, no competition. And Moonlit Slow Dance almost had no competition. This one still beat it out. So if you like that sort of vibe, you need this candle. It is absolutely gorgeous and by far the best fall candle I've smelled so far from Goose Creek. Possibly, it's not quite the same as Pumpkin Bonfire. That one is still really good from Bath & Body Works, but quite possibly one of the best fall candles even that I've had at Bath & Body Works from last year and the new ones I'm trying this year. So I highly, highly recommend that one. All right, y'all, that is my read on this new Wilderness Adventure collection from Goose Creek. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about any of these candles. Also, if you've already got your shipment and gotten into burning any of these, tell me what your experience has been, even if it's different from mine or contradicts it. I love having that information because it helps other viewers gauge not only my interpretation and subjective reading of these, but if you smell something different or you really like it and can frame it differently, it helps them decide. So I just love when you contribute and build community and help each other out, because ultimately we are all lost when it comes to ordering Goose Creek candles and we need help. We need so much help with better understanding what we're getting ourselves into. If you appreciated this lit review, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. It makes me feel good. I would say if I've saved you any money with this review, give me a super thanks. But if anything, I'm probably making you spend more money with this review. So super thanks are appreciated, but I do not expect them, nor are they required for me to continue creating content. Make sure you're subscribed, especially if you like videos like this, because I do them all the time. And I will see you again in my next video. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Bye-bye, everybody.